my Suze?
544. Doing
544.
real well, Sarah. How are you doing?
Oh, doing awesome. I, like I mentioned last episode, listen again to our tattoo episode, and there was so much about it I loved, and I also loved how everybody listening got all into it and sent me so many amazing photos of heart rocks and then messages that they have received from the universe. And so I just had a real fun last couple weeks of connecting with our listeners and our brain candy brainiacs about, cool hippity dippity stuff. And I just love it.
Is the heart rock thing just sort of individual people inspired, or do you think there's a camp culture thing? Is this something you learned somewhere?
I think it might be individual people inspired. Because it's not like camp culture, and it's people who, and I think, and then there was one gal who sent me a picture. Her dog has a perfectly shaped heart on the side of him, and the dog is the sweetest dog. It is getting trained to be a therapy dog to go to old people's homes and hospitals and stuff like that. I'm oh, that's the perfect dog for that one with the heart.
That is really nice. Yeah, people just love. Okay, that's cool.
They love it. That made me feel so good. And the other thing I was thinking about that I feel like I spent a lot of time thinking about was when you were I'm so surprised you haven't joined a cult.
Yeah.
And so I thought about that a whole bunch. And,
oh, God.
Right, because I'm okay, would I join a cult? And I know why I haven't and why I wouldn't ever. Because, and I even and I was meditating last night, and I was doing a little, it's almost a new moon, so I'm doing a little my own witchy ceremony, and so I'm thinking about all this, and I had this light bulb moment where I'm oh, duh, this is why. I really believe, kind of like the Quakers do, that the power is inside me, that I am the one who is the divine goddess to be worshipped, not some, dude that's I know all the secrets and blah, blah, blah. I'm never following a guru who thinks that they know everything. And the other thing I was thinking about is all of the deep spiritual knowledge that I feel the things that I know as truths for me are old ancient, is ancient wisdom. None of this new guy oh, I've got it figured out. I was thinking about that Nexium guy, who's I've discovered a recipe for how to be a better person or whatever. No, I don't. I'm not. Nobody's selling me any new system. It's us going back to old ways and going back to more traditional, I don't know, holistic healing and more Eastern, ideas and stuff like that.
Okay, so
what do you think?
I can see what you mean, but then I think about the way that you described your tattoo ritual and just how, because you're so open to those emotions and feeling the feels, as the kids say.
Yes.
and that the tattoo artist was the facilitator of that.
Yes.
And you know how it is with cults. They don't come in and say hey, Xenu is this alien, whatever. They it's the frog in boiling water thing. So if
I remember, that Nexium movie where when I watched that and they're all playing volleyball, sitting around listening to that guy talk, I wouldn't have sat there for 2 goddamn seconds listening to that guy talk. I don't care.
I could see that. Yeah,
I'd be no, I'm out. I got spells to cast at home.
But what if the tattoo guy texts you right now and was hey, I'd love for you to come to my next ceremony. That if there was an entry point that was more conducive to the kinds of things that you love, I could see how you might be more enticed.
Yeah, I mean, fair, but I would like to think that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, not,
these are the reasons. Because when I thought about that, I'm no, because I worship me. I am the goddess to be worshipped.
I just read Amanda Montell has a book out called Cultish, and when you read a book and you're pissed because you could have written it. That's how I felt the whole time. But it is great and helpful if people like to know more about cults and what it is that makes them so like
Yes,
effective.
and people do love that.
Yeah, because it seems like, why the hell would anyone join? But I think she does a good job of showing why that happens and who they tend to attract and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a book you might want to read if you're listening and interested in cults.
Yeah.
But I respect your point, and I do see what you mean. Because you, like, even in the Challenge House, which kind of sometimes feel like groupthink.
Yeah, totally.
You were always like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah. And I'm not big, like, anytime well, I'll tell you, it was when I did DMT that I really understood in a deep way the individual, like how every person has an individual experience, and it's so unique that we can't know what's good for anybody else. We can't have even we can barely even have insight into, others and how they work, because all we is a collection of all of our past experiences. And if all of those, and that's our brain, that's like the blueprint that it's created. And if all of those past experiences are different, then the reality that each of us are living in is therefore different. Mm-hmm. And so anybody who comes in is like, I know how it is, or like, this is the only reality, that to me is bullshit. That to me is not true. And I feel like people who are any religion or any spiritual belief or whatever is, it's kind of like what we were talking about with diet before, and about like, everybody's gut is different, and we are all different. What works for one person, the people who are Mormon, yes, believe what you're going to believe. Great. That's you. That was within your reality, and that's it. You do you. And people who are Quakers, you believe what you're going to believe. You just, yep, you do you. Buddhists, like all of it. There are ones that I'm aligned to because they fit within the experiences that I've had and the reality that I exist in. But I don't think that I feel like I would have joined one by now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
At
so
35,
like you're out of the woods.
now I'm like past the like age in which I think they're going to like recruit me.
Okay.
It's a nice feeling.
That's a real relief. No, it is. And by the way, in that article about the gut diet thing, it was saying that in this particular study, like everyone was eating the same things, and then the meals were identical, and they were still metabolized differently depending on that gut. So, I mean, if you're eating the same, like, calories, food, blah, 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 and it's still different, then it's evidence to that point. But, yes, it applies to many things.
So many, right. And I just feel like anybody who says otherwise, anybody who tries to say, like any one-size-fits-all model is a bunch of hooey.
Well, and I always feel like certainty is a real red flag. Anytime anyone acts like they have the monopoly on truth with a capital T, run.
Right. I know I'm intelligent, for I know nothing.
Yeah, right?
That's the saying.
Idiots. That's how we know
we
not
are idiots. For sure. And I'm like, yeah. I remember but I will go and I'll like learn. And I love to, like I studied Kabbalah. I love to learn about that stuff and like fully immerse myself in that experience. But I never am like sign up for like class number 2 or 3 where they're like, oh yeah, well, just sign here and pay us this much. I'm always like, nah, I'm good. I got the, but can't take this gal for a ride.
But Sarah does love a ritual. And
yes,
we both love ritual vitamins.
Amen, sister.
Am I right or am I right? Because
you are right.
I mean, talk about taking the sort of like brain work and leg work out of, a habit. Ritual sends these vitamins to your house. And then when you take them, you're like, these aren't gross. Right. So they make it so easy. So you won't have that tummy trouble after you take them. And they smell and taste lovely. And then they fill in the gaps in your diet. And they have all kinds of now they have kids, they have men's, they have prenatal, postnatal. They got us covered from the inside out, no matter who you are. It's plant-based protein, so that's great. And like I said, it's delivered straight to your door on a calendar cycle, so you never have to wonder if you're going to run out. Why not shake up your... Oh, and did you try the protein yet?
Yes. In fact, maybe you saw a picture of pancakes that I made over the weekend. Those were protein pancakes made with a scoop of the protein. Protein is a great thing to add to pancakes.
That's brilliant.
I didn't discover this or invent this, but that's what I do with every pancake batch I make. And you got the vanilla flavor in there. It's fabulous. You just throw a scoop of that into your pancakes because, like, wouldn't you like your pancakes to have a bunch of protein in it?
That is a really smart idea that I never would have thought of.
Look at that.
No, for real. But, like, I know that people eat protein pancakes, but I never thought you could just dump a scoop in.
Just dump a scoop in. No problem.
Or you can drink them as a normal person, like you put it in the shaker and have a sip, and there you go. So why not shake up your ritual? Try to make trying something new less scary. Ritual offers a money-back guarantee if you're not 100% in love. Plus, our listeners get 10% off during your first 3 months. Just visit ritual.com/braincandy to add essential protein today. That's ritual.com/braincandy.
I'm looking back at the notes that I wrote where I was like, meditating last night and then having these. And I study and learn and connect to the intrinsic wisdom in me that has been passed down through my soul ancestry for generations. Oh, yeah. See?
This is the stuff you write?
Yeah.
In your journal?
Yes. Well, I mean, about this subject. I look back and I'm like, oh, yeah, I get real spiritual in the wee hours.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's true.
Yeah,
and then I was thinking also about because I believe in reincarnation, and then I was thinking about our ancestry, that's our DNA ancestry, and then our soul ancestry, and how they're kind of like two different things if you believe that, and that made me want to think about that more and look that up because. Probably not the first one to have that thought,
What makes you feel like reincarnation is real?
Oh, I just think that our souls are, that we are all part of this collective consciousness and that this soul's kind of job is to learn a bunch of lessons here on Earth. And until we learn the lessons that our soul is supposed to learn, we just keep coming back and keep learning and keep, in different experiences. And since energy it can't be created or destroyed, it's just recycled, so it goes somewhere. And so I feel like it comes back, and then I feel like there's a lot on past life stuff is really interesting to me, and I definitely have. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I know who I was in a couple past lives, and I had one lady, I was walking through a farmer's market once, and she, grabbed my arm, and she was like, have you ever been to Thailand? And I said, oh, my gosh, yes, it's one of my favorite places. I've been there 3 times. I love it. And she goes, oh, yeah, in a past life, you were a Thai fisherman.
Stop it right now.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And when I was there was one time where I was eating a mango when I was in Thailand, and I had this weird feeling of, sitting on on a tree, I was squatting down on this tree. This was the memory. That wasn't my memory. It was just a flash. And I was on a tree that was a palm tree, but it was growing almost parallel to the ground. So you could sit on it, like a seat. And I just have this memory of eating a mango, sitting on that. And when I was eating a mango in Thailand, I had this image pop up in my head, and it felt so real. It felt like one of my memories. And then I was like, oh shit, man. I wonder if that is true. And so that was an interesting one that kind of made me think oh, maybe we do have that, and I don't know. I have no, information on that.
Have you ever been fishing in this life?
Yes, and I'm really good too.
I was just going to say, are you really good?
Yeah, my brother. In fact, we were in Costa Rica, and my brother was living in Costa Rica with my mom for 3 months at the time, and we go hand fishing, with a hand reel, reel fishing, where you use this little plastic reel and you put your bait on the hook, and then you swing it around over your head, you let it go, and it goes off. I feel like I told this story recently, and my brother had been fishing for like months and didn't catch a goddamn thing. I go out there, in the first 5 minutes, it was like, and you're like feeling the line. I was like, oh yeah, there's one. And like reel it in. And my brother was like, what the hell? How did you catch something? And I caught enough fish for all of us to have dinner that night.
Wow.
I fed the family, and I would have had more, except I put it in too shallow of a little, I don't know, this little like tide pool, and freaking birds stole 2 of my fish.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I would have had more. We would have had leftovers, but made some homemade ceviche.
My God, your brother had no idea you had an advantage. Like,
yeah, I did have an event, and he was like, "Oh, that must," and that must be from when I was a Thai fisherman. Yeah.
Did you tell them?
I think at that time I have this information.
I don't love that this woman ambushed you with that information.
Yeah, you're really not supposed to do that. But I think we were at an event where we were at a farmer's market where it was in Ojai. And at the time, my mom was working at the psychic center there. So she knew who my mom was. Okay. And I think if you know that Sarah's mom is a psychic who's like
that makes
doing
it
her
more,
thing,
then
you're just going to like,
kind of invite that kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. Like, it just makes me laugh. So,
wow,
yeah.
I just learned so much already.
So yeah, I can't believe I've never told you that. But yeah, the Thai, I also was told that this was when I was little. This was when I was little, and somebody told this to my mom, so I didn't hear this directly. But they said that I was a cook, or like some sort of like I worked as like a baker or a cook for I don't know, some like fancy schmancy, like royalty or some like fancy lady or whatever.
Does
but I was
that
like
resonate with
not
you?
in the
like...
Yeah, I mean maybe, I don't know. It's just interesting, and I like hearing about all those stories about like the little kids who have memories of. Like, sometimes they're ones that are just so strange, and so I just think there's so much we don't know. So,
well, that's true. I do enjoy that. That's fun to me.
Yeah, that's really fun to me. And I do know that I have a spirit guide that I totally met when I did DMT. Like, I felt them and saw them, and he's Native American, and it was like very, very, very clear that like, oh, right there, I see you. Like right over my right shoulder, like long hair, and
Dang.
Yeah, I'll tell you that's a hell of a drug. That one and done. I was all the information I needed, and I was like, yeah,
like you got.
We're good.
Yes,
I'm good. I don't know if I could ever even do it again because I'm like, that was like, whew. I learned a lot about the universe that day, and I don't know if I like. We're good.
Yeah, it's like sensory overload.
Yeah, for real. It was sensory overload. It was like, oh my God, I like know too much now. That whole thing.
If you need to calm down and sort of like recenter yourself, may I suggest the amazing streaming service of Wondrium, which I highly recommend. It's basically a streaming service that will make your brain so happy because you will learn so much. I recently watched on there this film called Breaking Their Silence, and it's about these badass women who are fighting the poaching in Africa.
And we love that.
The cinematography was so beautiful because you got to see like the details of the creature, the elephants and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like it was so inspiring because in Africa and wherever they were doing it, like women really aren't supposed to be leading the charge of anything. And so they have an uphill battle in that regard, in addition to just like stopping this travesty and everything that's going on. And they're risking their lives to protect these creatures. And it's so beautiful. But there's so many films and there's so many categories. So like there's something for everyone. And I just think it's nice that you can watch these documentaries and films, know that you're learning stuff and being entertained at the same time.
We love that.
We love that. It's a streaming service that brings mind-blowing moments into everyday lives. I could spend days and days watching thousands of hours of content that they have available, from documentaries, you know how I love those, to tutorials, travel logs. They have it all. You have to check out Mind-Blowing Science. It lives up to its name, people. Whatever you're into, dinosaurs, aliens, monster, black holes, whatever, they have info about Einstein's thought experiments. It was fascinating to hear how he came up with some of his most influential contributions to physics. We know you're going to love Wondrium as much as we do. Use our special URL so that they know we sent you. Go to Wondrium.com/braincandy. For a limited time, sign up and you'll get a free month trial of unlimited access. You can watch all this good stuff. That's WONDRIUM.com/braincandy. That's Wondrium.com/braincandy. Sign up today. You will love it. And then we can talk about everything you watch. It's so cool.
Everybody who listens to this show loves learning and loves, info.
And it does feel like I love the idea of relaxing and learning at the same time, because people tend to think like you have to do the guilty pleasure thing to relax. No. But you don't. You can learn and relax at the same time.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yes. Okay. So enough about me and my spiritual, awakening.
I love it. It's so interesting.
Oh, I'm glad you do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like ever since I got that tattoo, I feel like I have been very synced up with the universe.
That's great.
Yeah.
What a wonderful feeling.
I can meditate much. I can get to those places of like a clear mind and being really present.
I don't even think that feeling has to be seen as woo-woo either, because it's sort of like, if you have a mental block or if you're stuck in your life and you can do a ritual, in your case it was the tattoo thing, that kind of like gets you past that obstacle, then you enter a whole new space, which is nice.
Yes, I totally agree. Thank you, Suze. I love it. Okay, but I have so many. I don't want to take up any more time talking about that stuff because I have so many crazy stories to share with you.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Okay.
Oh God,
I sent you a
scared.
photo.
You did?
I did. You'll see it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and click on this. Maybe I should share the screen so our video can get it.
Yeah, do that.
I'll share the screen with you.
Yes.
Make it so I can share the screen with you.
Okay, so
hook it up, girl.
The video version of this is on Patreon, so all participants.
Oh my God, you're gonna. Bleh.
So if you want to see what Sarah's showing me, you can watch it on Patreon.
I'd like to introduce you to the penis snake. Oh my God!
The penis snake.
The NSFW. NSF. I said that right. Not safe for work? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
No.
That's a snake, Susie. And
on
turns
land?
out on land. Well, wasn't here for a long time. And just recently, I think maybe, the computer likes to feed me things that I like similar to what I clicked on. I feel like when I discussed goldfish being dumped in lakes, it was like, you want to hear what other animals were dumping places? And
so
you
gotta be careful
for the first time in, ever, these snakes have been discovered in Florida. And they are not native to the United States. And they are really dangerous to the population, like to the, they're not good. And they were able to catch one of them to study it, but then it died in captivity. But now multiple people have reported other ones. And this is like, Florida is a place where, they have, I think because of illegal animal trade and that being a port where those animals come in, or like these exotic animal trade, because they said it wasn't from like residents and wasn't from people who were like pet owners letting it go. It was somehow they were getting out there, maybe.
Where are they native? Like, where do they live normally?
You know what? I can't believe that I don't even know. Where are they from? I want to say China.
I feel like all the wrong animals go extinct.
Yeah, I don't. Right? No. I was way off. Native to the drainage basins of rivers in Colombia, as well as Venezuela. I don't know why. Oh, I know why I said China, because my next story is about somebody from there. So, yeah, it says they might not be high on the list of for prospective pet owners, but they're easily accessible in the U.S. pet trade. And it stands to reason that these invasive animals were on their way to Florida's wild waterways as an escapee or abandoned pet. Their release, whether on purpose or by accident, adds to an extensive list of invasive animals that have called Florida their home. So, one thing that this led me to was another problem they have in Florida of Burmese pythons.
Oh, yeah.
And they're asking people to eat them.
No, like if
Like
you
the Florida
see
government is like, we have too many of these. You should catch them and you should start eating them because we can't get rid of. There's enough snakes around, pythons, that we need to be putting this.
Why can't we just catch them and then the people come and take them and kill them?
Yeah.
Does that mean? Are we not supposed to say that?
No, you that's exact. Take them, kill them. Like, right. What else are you doing to them?
Because
like they have a big problem of this. I think it's that there are so many
owners.
that the people who are catching them, the people who are like the snake catchers.
Well, like what do they call that? Animal control.
Animal control. That I think they just can't keep up with the number of snakes. So now they need like residents. Like Florida's government is actually like enforcing this.
What if we outlawed having them as pets?
I think we should. Well, it doesn't stop people. We outlawed tigers, though people still have those.
Did we?
Yeah.
I think
in a lot. Oh, not everywhere. You're right. There are weird states like Ohio, I think, allows exotic animals. I think Pennsylvania does too.
Probably.
Yeah, because it happens to be, and this is totally a thing we've talked about on here before, but you guys, if you have not seen this documentary on Vice, you should. And it's a documentary about the Amish and the illegal animal, like the
I remember you told me about that, and I blocked it out. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. They have like hidden cam footage where somebody like puts a camera in their purse and they go into one of these like auction tents
and
where
it's
they're
like
auctioning off all these
Jebediah.
exotic animals. It's like
like these Amish people are being like they're bidding on them, or are they selling them?
Yes, because
which one?
Which animal?
No. Are they bidding? The Amish, are they bidding or selling? They're buying or selling. Oh no, she can't hear me again. I can tell.
They're selling.
Okay, they're like breeding these things?
Yes. They're selling and they're making money off of it and they're selling it to regular people.
That's insane.
I know. Yeah, so definitely check out that documentary. And then I was thinking, would I ever eat a snake? What do you think snakes taste like?
It's not even the taste that would worry me as much as the texture.
Texture. What do you you imagine it to be rubbery like octopus?
Like worse, maybe like
Ew.
Because aren't they basically just muscle?
Yeah, but I imagine now I feel like they would taste like chicken. Should I Google what does a snake taste like?
Yeah.
Probably. I should definitely Google that.
It just seems like they don't have a lot of fat. It's just
what does
muscle.
Snake taste like? Oh, I'm not the first one to Google this, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably everyone in Florida is like, let me see.
Wow. Rattlesnake tastes, when breaded and fried, like tilapia. However, it's called the desert whitefish in the Southwest.
That is sick. I can't.
Yeah.
I know these are all social constructs. I get it.
Right.
But
yeah.
are there places where people eat snake as a matter of course?
For sure.
Where?
For sure. I don't know. I'm just saying that. But I feel like
yeah, like it's inevitable that somewhere this is just normal food.
Well, and also if you lived in a place where like you had Burmese pythons that were growing to be 30 feet long and they're like this big around, I'm looking at that like, oh yeah, I could feed my family for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, compared to, like, a fish or, like, a chicken, you get way more servings out of that. And just, like, slice that up.
I mean, this is what people say, like, anytime you call food exotic or do the, what's that show? James Corden, like, Eat Your Guts or whatever the hell that was called. Or, you know, like the Museum of Disgusting Food.
Yeah.
Like, that it's so ethnocentric to do that. It's just that I feel like the entire motion of a snake is that undulating disgustingness of, like, slither.
I hate that word.
And so it seems like it would just be all muscle, and that is always the worst part of any food. So,
yeah. Well, they do say, they said it does not taste remarkable. Like, it's not even, it's like, doesn't taste good or bad.
The fact that it says
just
it tastes like fish, a land animal should not taste like fish.
But I think I think maybe it's fish in more of the texture, like, than it is the fishiness. Like, I don't think it's going to taste fishy. You know, like flaky. I think it'll be flaky like that. I really do.
Well, maybe it's delicious.
Yeah.
If somebody you trusted said it's actually really good, would you go for it?
Yeah. I have no problem eating food that is not, you know, I remember when I was in Italy, I ate horse. That was delicious. Like, when
it was delicious.
It actually was. It was really good.
What did it taste like? Beef?
Really gamey. No, more like deer. More like deer, like a more gamey deer.
More
kinda
than
like,
deer.
Also kind of like rabbit, too. Like, has that kind of, like, it tasted like woodsy. Yeah, in a weird way.
I was going to say, you know what doesn't taste gamey, but this isn't a food one, so I can't do that fantastic segue. But what looks fantastic and is not gamey at all is the fantastic athleisure selections from Girlfriend Collective.
Yes.
Which I cannot recommend enough. I have the bike shorts from Girlfriend Collective, and they are so high quality.
Yeah, don't they just feel so good?
They feel fantastic. They're comfortable. I am impressed with the fact that they're sustainable and they are ethically made. And I also love that they have up to size 6XL and that they show the models in various sizes so you can get a sense of what you might look like. I just am really impressed with the company in general.
Love that.
Best-selling leggings. They're squat-proof. They come with pockets, and they have different levels of support. You can get just comfortable or compression, depending on your needs. And like I said, they're made of recycled materials, and they are 100% recyclable shipping. For listeners of the show, Girlfriend Collective is offering first-time customers $25 off purchases of $20 or more when you go to girlfriend.com/candy. That's $25 off $100 or more when you go to girlfriend.com/candy. Girlfriend.com/candy. They're super cute and very comfortable.
Yeah.
All right, ma'am.
I love a matching set. Okay, so yes, that is super gross, the penis snake, and you definitely have to look that up if you aren't watching the video version, or just check out the video version so you can see what this disgusting, because it looks like exactly like you think it would. That is an appropriately named snake.
It looks like something you'd see under the water, though. That's what really freaks me out, because it's almost translucent.
God, gross. Yes, it looks like. And it's weird that I am looking at this penis snake and having this kind of reaction, yet don't feel that way about penises. Or do I? I'm like, I haven't seen one in a long time. But I don't think it makes me grossed out. Is it the fact that it looks like a penis and then it's something else and we know it's a snake that's really gross?
But the skin.
And how did that happen evolutionarily? That it looks just like it.
Yeah, it does. Although the skin, I feel, is more disgusting. Because, like,
it is.
A penis is, human skin. It's a little different. It's, like, smoother. But then the penis snake is, like, slimier.
Oh, whatever that was. That is fucking nasty. Damn.
Thanks for that, Sarah.
You're welcome. I do what I can. If you thought that was bad, the next one is really going to
I'm glad I brought a wine for
pucker
this
up your
episode.
butthole.
Oh, my God. Show
Yes.
me.
Okay. This is more of a tell than a show. Thank God.
Oh, good.
But
okay.
it fits our, favorite topic around here. A poo story.
Nice. Yes.
So, there was a man thank goodness he survived. Did he? I believe so. Yes.
Sarah's like the kombucha meme.
I'm like, yeah, I did just do. I was like, what? Yeah, no, he was good. He was good. Okay. So, a man in China was admitted to the emergency room because he inserted an eel into his bum to relieve constipation.
No way.
Oh, yes. He put a 20-centimeter eel into his anus, thinking that would be a trick for loosening up the old, BM.
Then it probably did.
Well, yeah, so it went on up there. It reached his rectum. 7.87 inches, so 20 centimeters. So we're talking, I would say a little bit longer
bigger than
your
average
iPhone.
Penis.
This you didn't even think about that, but you are correct.
Well,
but you know what? A penis does not do the next part. The eel headed towards his colon, bit it, and then entered the abdomen. I know. Everybody needs to just go on Patreon so that you can enjoy Susie's reaction to this, because that is the
it's
best.
Silent.
Yes.
It's silent, but
the visual is so good.
My God.
I know. Doesn't that make your butt like, This is not the first time this has happened, though. This is apparently some folk remedy. I'd have no idea. And there was a case in 2017 that was in Men's Health magazine where it wrote about a 49-year-old man who was rushed to the hospital when he did the exact same thing. And they asked him how the eel got up there, and he tried to say that it swam up there by itself, until eventually confessing that he put it in there.
They shouldn't have asked him. They know how it got in there.
Right. They know. I wonder if you've worked in an ER, how many patients you've seen that have stuck things up their beehole.
Well, and that's why when I went in for my gastrointestinal problem, really it was a butt problem, but he was like, "What happened?" Because I think there's usually a story like that.
Yeah. He was like, "What'd you shove up your bum, Susie?"
He was excited. He couldn't wait to hear. I'm
my
like, what?
God.
I don't know. But
it was not Neil.
Do you know how bad your constipation would have to be for this to seem like a good idea?
Right. I had a friend who was at camp one year and was constipated for no joke 5 days. Her stomach was so hard.
I love that you think that's a long time.
Do you have that beat? Susie!
Oh my God, all the time.
Oh. Oh my God, I'm going multiple. I am 2 or 3 times a day.
You are lucky. Seriously, be happy, because when you don't have that regularity, it sucks.
I'm so sorry that.
Thank you.
Yeah, but stay away from eels.
Was she upset, the 5-day girl? Was she like,
or
did she act like this happens all the time?
We were at camp and she was like, oh my, she was not happy. And we were trying every thing on the book, and she ended up having to go to the emergency room.
She was going to?
She did. She went to the doctor's office, and they gave her something, or they did something to because it was so, she said it was so uncomfortable, and you could see it. You could see her stomach was hard.
Okay. Wow. Okay, maybe I'm just desensitized or something.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
Like,
What'd they give
that is
her?
not- I don't know. I'll have to
Smooth move?
ask her. I'll ask her what's up with that. And
Find out from me.
I totally will, because I'm still friends with her and I see her regularly. So I'll be like, oh, hey, what, you know. And it's funny because, like, when I talk to other people about that year at camp, they'll be like, oh, yeah, you mean the year what's her name had was constipated? Like, that's how we refer to that year at camp. Oh, you mean the year? And I don't want to call her out because, like, you know.
I wouldn't have even, if I had gone 5 days without going, I wouldn't have even mentioned it.
Oh, my, no. See, this is summer camp. This is like camp people. We're like all like, it's a very close crew.
Yeah,
and,
I know, but it wouldn't have even been I wouldn't have even thought much about it.
Oh my God, like it wouldn't have even been, I think if you're not used to that, if that isn't something you experience, and then, like, if I weren't able to go for even like 24 to 48 hours, I think I would have intense stomach pains.
Stop, really?
For sure. That stuff's
God.
gotta, like, get out.
I agree. I want it out too,
mean,
but
Yeah, so that guy is crazy for doing that.
I'll tell you what's not crazy.
Yeah. Excellent.
I'll tell you what's not crazy, and that is having someone help you reach your goals through using Noom.
Yes. Oh.
Noom is a
I was just
great
hanging out with a
service.
friend who uses Noom, and I was like at the beach with her. I'm like, "Damn, you look so good." And she
Fit
said,
as a
"Yes,
fiddle."
I was using Noom, and I started recognizing the ways that I had bad eating habits." And she was about to get married, so she tried that, and it was like got her in such good shape, and it made it so she was better able to reach the goals of just health that she wanted to.
Yeah, exactly, because that's the thing. I think people generally will choose to do the right things if they really understand how to do it, what's at stake. And that's what I like about Noom, is that they use cognitive behavioral science to say, like, here's something you could try that could encourage a better habit. And then it doesn't feel like that diet culture thing, it ain't working.
Awful.
So,
no.
But changing your habits, whatever they may be, can produce long-term achievements, which is what we all want. And we all just want to feel better. And like Sarah said, poop every day. Yeah. I should put that as my goal on Noom, like regularity.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I really, that is a goal. But you can start building better habits for healthier long-term results. Sign up for your trial at Noom.com/braincandy. That's NOOM.com/braincandy. You can get your goals in order. I love stuff like that. I'm very goal-oriented, as you know.
Yes, yes. You're so good at that.
All right. Oh, you've traumatized me so far. What else you got? Anything like
this one? I have a happy one. I have two more that I'll save you from the gross ones. I'll add a little happy. This I just have a little bit of info on this. I think one of our listeners sent me this. You know how we hate Everest and how we hate that whole thing. We don't like that, but we love the people in Norway who have hired Sherpas from Nepal to build routes and to build basically use their amazing skills that they have to tend to the trails and routes and the different paths and build paths in the mountains of Norway.
That's super cool, and I did not know that Sherpa did that. I didn't know they built or improved.
I mean, if you're somebody who's like climbing, and remember we read the stories about how they went up there and got all the trash, and like people were bringing down all of the, that's, I feel like that's part of just a culture that is intertwined in the mountains and like that world,
the
that
ecosystem.
You're going to have a respect for it. You're going to have an understanding of how, and then you think about like the kind of trails and the way they would need to maintain the trails in Nepal. And it's very, I've not been to Nepal, but I've been to Norway, and I've climbed in Norway and seen those trails and everything. And a lot of them are very steep and very, there's a lot of glaciers. And so I feel like the snow and the knowledge of like how glacier runoff and snow affects the trails and how to maintain those kind of things. Like, they clearly have it. So they've done 300 projects over in like one summer, and for the work that they did, the one summer of work in Norway was equivalent to 30 years of pay in Nepal.
No.
Yep. So we love that Norway is doing that for people, and that Norway is helping.
Can you tell me this? When you do that comparison, do you suspect that they're comparing a typical salary for a person,
Yes.
a Nepalese person, or the pay for being a Sherpa on Everest?
The pay for being a Sherpa.
So all these white assholes that
Yes.
go and climb, they throw pennies at these Sherpa?
Yes, 100%. That's how I felt when I went to. That's why I said I will never do Machu Picchu again. I'll never hire a guy. I will never, ever, ever do that again, because I felt so. I felt like we were exploiting them. I was not okay with it. It was a trip that was put on by, my now ex-husband's friend, who they were all like, kind of in the wine business, like bougie people. And they picked like a really high-end, trekking service. And it felt like the opposite of what that trip should be. It felt like...
So you think they didn't get paid properly, and that mostly the company
for sure,
took...
no. And I think what happens is like the company, like a trekking company, or like the it's like an American company that then hire, like they build, the tour, and they I don't know, and then they hire the Sherpas
Locals.
to
Oh my God, that is
and
so
it's definitely
gross.
pennies. And then they say when you're done, they're like, "Oh, if you have any gear you want to get rid of, they will take your like." It feels so awful. I did not feel good doing that, and then I felt like it just felt not how like backpacking and trekking should be. It felt like if you're gonna go be in nature, that you should be responsible for yourself while you're there. I just feel like hiring people to like carry your shit and to like set it up for you so that you're comfortable.
Do they really carry your stuff?
Yes! Everything! Like, you don't, like, it's, I had a teeny tiny little backpack that I was, one of my little backpacks from the challenge that was like a small, just my camel pack was stuff
Like
in
a
it.
school bag.
Yep, because I didn't need to carry any of I didn't need to, all the tents, all the food. It is so gross.
They carry it on their back?
Yes. I should show you some pictures. It is, and they're like doing it all in flip-flops, and like they're like, and they're running.
Was so
they
ignorant.
are running
I had
because
no
what they
idea.
do is they take all the stuff and then they run to wherever you're going to sleep that night so that they can get there and set it all up so you can have a cushy ass time when you get there. That's fucked up to me and backwards and not how we should be doing it. And I think they should shut all that down. I think they should not allow people to do that on any of these like cultural or like historic. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Ask Barry
it made me
about
feel
that.
gross.
Have you talked to Barry about it at all?
No, I haven't.
I wonder what he thinks.
I'm sure he would agree with me.
I'm sure he would too. And that is, like I said, I was ignorant. I had no idea that I thought they were more of like a guide.
Nope. No, they have somebody else who does that. They hire their American guy, or like mine was from the one that he was Spanish. He was like from Spain. That they don't even use the people who are from there to be doing the tour, like to
I had no
guide.
idea. That is
It's
sick.
fucked up, Suze.
I'm so disturbed.
That's why I got back from that trip and I was like, I don't like any, like, and the fact that like my ex didn't also have a problem with that, and I'm
He
like
did?
throwing a big old stink about it, and like
He
he did not have a problem. No, not at all. Come on.
That's really sad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I can't believe that. Because
Yeah.
to me, that's no different than, like when we talk about ethically sourced clothing and like
Right.
sweatshop
the same.
type of thing. That is identical.
It is identical, 100%, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, you know, you tip them at the end, but, like, it just feels like, and you know how they're getting paid nothing. And I guarantee you the tour company is making way more than... It's a fucked up system. I hated it. It made me feel icky.
I can imagine.
And I'm sure there are companies that don't do that have, like, maybe it's different, but I would say as a general, like...
Yeah, that's just sort of the status quo.
Yes, that is the status quo.
You would have to seek out a company that didn't do that.
Yeah, that was, like,
and
ethical.
So when you say in Norway that one season equaled 30 years, what do you think that amounted to?
Oh, gosh.
Like if you just had to guess.
Oh, man. Well, I know what Norway does. Norway's minimum wage is $25 an hour. I knew this because I did the math, and I remember having a conversation with, you know, because I'm like talking to everybody. And when I was in Norway, I had a conversation with the housekeeper, and we were talking about minimum wage, and she was just so happy. She was having a great time, and like, you know, like, and we were just chit-chatting, and she said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, it's fun work because like I don't even know how we got to talking about this. Who knows? But she got paid, I think it was $27 to $30 an hour. I can't remember which. And I was doing the math, and I'm like, oh yeah, she makes way more money than I do. And I was just, and it's just people are really well taken care of in Norway. They have a really good minimum wage. They've got really good, you know, like, social services and stuff like that. Like, or what do you call them? You know,
we've
like
talked about this
preschools.
Before, but I mean, it's no accident that Scandinavia is so homogenous in terms of race.
Right.
And the fact that they do social services and higher minimum wages, because when the person that you're paying is just like you, it's harder to be like, this is fine. Yeah. And when you see people as all equal, it does change how, you know, you treat them. It's a shame that we can't get there. That person
looks like you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because the person cleaning the room looked like you, Susie.
Right. And I understand the idea that when that's how people are, we tend to live in communities of people that look like us, who worship like us, who are educated like us. And so then we're all happy. But as soon as we have people that aren't like us or have different color skin or worship in a different way, then it feels like the hierarchical in a more obvious way.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it.
I know. Me too.
But I'm so glad you shared that, because I had no idea. Yeah. And I hated
I'm going to send you some pictures too, and I think you're going to be shocked at just how much they were carrying and how, like, I had this feeling of like, are you sure? Like, I'll get it. I don't even mind. You know how I am. I'm like going like, oh, I'll take it. No, they were like, no, you don't, you know. And almost for safety, they don't want you to carry a bunch of stuff because it's real easy to take the trails are real narrow. It's real easy to like take a tumble, and people die every year. Sherpas die running down that, and like, yeah, for sure.
This is a terrible situation.
I know.
I'm
telling
sorry
you.
To
So
hear
that's
this.
what I said. They should absolutely shut that down. I'm sure I've said that in a past episode. Like, I do not think that people should be allowed to do that.
Right. And then when we have this COVID situation, their livelihood, as meager as it was decimated. And so that's another problem. And that has nothing to do with the fact that they're exploited in the first place. My God, I'm so upset. Yeah. Thank God I poured wine, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you needed it this episode. Shit, man.
Let's wind it down. My God.
I know. You know what? Sometimes I'm the one who needs to be winded down. Now I think this is Susie needs to wind it down.
Yes, and I think we heard a solid case for why Sarah will not join a cult.
Yeah,
you needn't worry.
No worries there.
Fine.
So don't worry about me, but do worry about penis snakes.
And wait, no. The best thing that we learned in this whole episode is that Sarah used to be a Thai fisherman.
Oh, yes,
like,
that
period.
is correct.
That was the best revelation.
Yep, I was a Thai fisherman.
But yeah, the worst revelations included a penis snake.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there was another. Oh, the eel in the butt hole.
Yeah, eel and a bum.
And then the exploitation of Sherpa around the world.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
So
a lot to process.
A lot to process. And if you're somebody who's deciding to go adventure or go trekking in one of these places, just do your research and, be a big kid and carry your own shit.
And maybe just stay home. May I suggest just staying home?
Susie says stay home.
Be sure to check out our patreon.com/braincandy if you'd like to watch the video version and our
you
website.
Can see Susie's reaction.
Yes. And the next episode you'll hear will be after Sarah's camping adventure.
That's right.
And we will hear how that went.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you. We will be carrying all of our own shit. There will be no Sherpas involved. I will be the Sherpa.
But it sounds like, from what you said, there isn't going to be much shit to bring.
No, not much.
Because you guys are just like doing like real minimalist approach. So we can't wait to hear about it. We'll see you next time, everybody. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.